Hi, it's John from Android Addicts, and today we're going to be looking at the bandwidth usage and streaming performance of the new Xbox Live XCloud game streaming service. Now, those of you who have been subscribed to my channel may remember around 8 years ago now there was a service launched in the UK called OnLive. You can see a quick sample of that video here in the corner. Now, this service was one of the first of its kind to launch in the UK. And although it was pretty good, it didn't really take off because people's broadband wasn't really quick enough to cope with it. But now other providers such as Sony, Microsoft and Google with Google Stadia are launching similar services where you stream your games and the games don't actually need to be on a console anymore. So this example here is the Xbox game streaming service. Now, this is the preview at the moment, so you do have to actually sign up to be accepted into this. I signed up and it took about a week or so to be approved. I think it just takes a bit of time for the request to be accepted. So what I'm going to do with this video is I'm going to put a little bandwidth monitor on the corner of the screen. This is on my Asus router, so you can see exactly how much bandwidth the Galaxy S10 is using at any one time while I'm on the Wi-Fi, and we'll also do a test with a 3G and 4G connection. Okay, so let's just quickly see what speed we're getting at the moment. I'm on my 5G frequency here, so it should be as quick as feasibly possible within my house. So let's give this a try. Okay, so we know that our line and phone is capable of doing 65.8 meg down and 18.3 up. Now, we're not going to use anywhere near that amount for the game preview here, but it's just so you're aware of what sort of speeds we're getting. What I will also do while I'm here is test the 2G and 3G, the 3G and 4G connections, and we'll just see what speeds we get there. Okay, so that's our 4G tested. We've got a 13.1 down and 7.31 up. Let's just switch to 3G and we will test that also. So there we go, that's our 3G test. We've got 5.82 down and 1.63 up. So here's the main menu on the app, the home screen, and you can see there's currently, I believe, 50 games which you can play. Okay, we're fully synced up with our Bluetooth controller, and we're going to just start a game and we'll just see how we get on. The first one I'm going to try is Halo 5. Now, just so you're aware, we've got a start and the menu button for the Xbox controller here, but if we want the guide we need to press on the screen and press on the Xbox logo at the top there. If we press the three dots on the left here, the menu button, this allows you to mute, send some feedback or quit the game completely. Now, I have tried to make the app go full screen, but it refuses to do so. So I've set it in the Samsung settings to force it into full screen mode, and we still get the black bar at the top here near the cameras, which is a bit of a shame, but I guess it is only a preview, so we can't expect too much.
Affirmative. Buck, Tanaka, full security.
Okay, so we're on the first level here. So what I would suggest you do is keep an eye open for any strange artifacts that appear, any kind of blurring or sort of funny squares that might appear whilst moving around. Now, I have seen some whilst testing, so we'll just see if we see any more coming in. As you can see, the controls are very responsive, just as they would be if you were using an Xbox. Energy sword down here, which is out of ammo. So whilst we're moving around in the game, we seem to be using around about 7.3 megabits per second of internet. So not a huge amount really for a standard fast fibre connection. Now, the interesting thing here is if you look down on the floor, for example, where, let's just say, nothing is moving, the bandwidth drops down to around 4 megabits per second. Now, if you start moving around, say spinning around in a circle, you'll notice that the bandwidth increases to over 8 megabits per second. So obviously the more that's going on the screen at any one time, the more internet it will use, and therefore the faster the connection you require is. So let's just play the game a bit and we'll see how we get on.
Hold up inside a forerunner structure ahead. That's our target.
And you can just keep an eye on the bandwidth monitor, which I'll put on the screen.
Captain Lasky coordinates to find it.
It must be something big.
One hell of a trap. Contact.
You can see some stuttering around there. I can't actually hear the sound whilst I'm doing this because it's connected to the Bluetooth, but I'm guessing that the sound will also be stuttering around. Okay, so that's enough of Halo. Let's just run another game here. We'll do World War Z. Okay, so again, as you can see, if nothing's on the screen, we're using around 4 megabits per second, sometimes dropping below 3. But as soon as we start to actually do something, that is when the speed ranks up.
The door should be on the left.
They're hiding in the dark. Soviet-era security console. Typical.
I've got it.
How many civil servants did they hide down here?
I don't know. I was showed only blueprints for the mission.
Would have been helpful to know what we're up against.
Now you may have just seen a line go down the screen. I think that's when the quality of the stream is actually picking up or dropping down, depending on how good your connection is. So it can actually change mid-game, which is handy obviously, because if you started with a good connection but it went down a bit, you'd certainly want it to carry on playing rather than just stop completely.
Secret rail network.
How deep does this place go?
We're not even close.
So around about 8 megabits per second still. Nothing too strenuous at the moment. Got a bit of slowdown here. Okay, so I think we're done on those two games. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch to my 4G connection and we'll have a look at what sort of data we'll be using and also exactly how good or fast the game plays. Okay, I have turned off my Wi-Fi connection now, so we're on our 4G connection. And we can see here that the Xbox streaming app has currently used 12 megabytes of data. Now, what I'm going to do is subtract that from the final value once I've finished playing a game for a few minutes, and we'll just see how much exactly you can expect to use of your mobile data. Now we can already see there is a warning connection here about the quality of the network. Now remember, the 4G connection was getting around 10 megabits per second, but that doesn't mean it will get 10 megabits from the Microsoft servers. So the warning sign is gone, but it isn't a full strength signal or full strength connection at least, according to that icon in the top. But let's try the game anyway and see how we get on.
Welcome to autumn, a new beginning for the festival that never ends. Don't go anywhere, Horizon is here to stay.
You can see it is definitely struggling with this, even on a 4G connection. So I would definitely say this is unplayable on a 4G connection. I'll just play for another minute or so, and then that will be 5 minutes, and then we'll see how much bandwidth or how much data it's actually used up. Okay, right, it's been about just over 5 minutes, so I'm going to quit the game and we'll just have a quick look at the mobile data usage. Okay, so it was around 12 megabytes before, so with a quick calculation, it's used about 70 megabytes, or just under 70 megabytes. So 70 megabytes every 5 minutes, if that's something you can work on. I will just try 3G as well, just to see if it makes a huge amount of difference or not. Right, so now I haven't played this since Soul Calibur on the Dreamcast, so I'm going to probably be pretty bad, but we'll just get a feeling how it goes with a 3D connection. So far it doesn't look too bad, to be fair.
I swear I won't tear you apart.
A few misframes every now and again, but overall seems okay, but we'll see how we get on the actual fighting. Yeah, to be honest, I'm just button bashing here, so I'm not actually sure how good the responsiveness is. So let's see if we can get into a training mode. It's actually running pretty well, and I'm quite impressed with the responsiveness. But as you can see, it's not actually too bad. You can see down in the bottom here the keys as I'm pressing them. And there we are. So we'll just go back and we'll check the data usage. And we've now gone to 264 megabytes, which is quite a big increase. So from, what was it, 82 megabytes to 264. So that's what, 180 megabytes that's used. So we'll just try one more game and we'll just double check the remaining amount of data that's used. Okay, so Sea of Thieves is pretty bad, to be honest. The lag, or the loss of connection even, is certainly not helping. Now my phone signal is still pretty strong, so I'm guessing there's just too much happening for this connection to handle. Okay, it's been about 5 minutes now on this 3G connection. It's been unplayable, but we're just going to have a quick look at what sort of data we've used. So we've gone from 264 to 333, so it's nearly 100 megabytes for about 5 minutes. So certainly seems a bit more, the more intense the game is, and you certainly can't switch apps like that because that hasn't worked. Oh, it has worked, there we go. Okay, so what I want to just check is to see if we can switch from 3G to Wi-Fi and continue in the same game, or whether we lose connection completely and then have to start a new one. No, it seems okay. So we've actually gone from 3G to Wi-Fi without any problems at all, which is really good, because if you lost your connection for whatever reason, you'd be pretty upset if you lost your progress in the game. Okay, so that's the quick look at the Project XCloud on the Xbox streaming service. Now, I can't say I recommend it fully with a data connection. It does just about work, and you probably could get away with it if you're just playing a single player game. I certainly wouldn't use it competitively at the moment. It's not quite there yet, certainly not indoors with my speed anyway. If you've got a fantastic 4G or 3G connection, then knock yourself out. It looks like you need a good stable 8 megabits per second for most games. As we can see now on the bandwidth graph, we've gone back to around 6 megabits per second. But don't forget also, it is based on your latency to the server. So on a home connection, home broadband or fiber connection, your ping or response time will be so much better than on a 4G or 3G connection, in theory. Now obviously this is all just dependent on your line and where you live, but overall works great on Wi-Fi, the odd glitch every now and again, and still I probably wouldn't play a competitive game on here just yet, but for just messing around whilst you're away, or if someone else is using the Xbox or someone's using the TV and you can't get onto it, then this is really a fantastic idea for Android users. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Please leave any comments you have down below and I'll do my best to answer them. Click the like button and subscribe to the channel for more videos in the future. And until then, I will see you in the next one.